Hi, it's time for our Lego Bible story. Have my Legos all ready? I hope you have yours ready too. Today's story comes from the Gospel of Mark. Remember, the Gospels are the first 4 books of the New Testament, and they talk about what Jesus did when he was walking around here on earth. And in the passage today, Jesus was teaching, and he was talking about the kingdom. And he said that the kingdom of God is as if someone would scatter seed on the ground and would sleep and rise day and night, and the seed would sprout and grow, and he doesn't know how. The earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, then the full grain. But when the grain is ripe, at once he goes in with his sickle because the harvest has come. Jesus also said, "With what can we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable will we use for it? The kingdom of God is like a mustard seed, the smallest of seeds on all the earth. Yet when it is sown, it grows up to become the greatest of all shrubs, so big that it's almost like a tree, and the birds of the air come and make their nest in its shade." And he talked to them in parables like that, as they were able to hear it. And he did not speak to them except in parables, but he explained everything to his disciples. So I wonder what the parable really means. In the first one, somebody got up and they planted seeds. Maybe you planted some seeds this year. And then they didn't do anything, but the seeds grew and grew. And the stalks grew. And there is nothing that's going to make my Lego look like rain, but we'll make it grow and grow. And the person who planted the seed goes to sleep and gets up and goes to sleep and gets up and goes to sleep and gets up. And while he does all of that, the grain grows. First, the stalks grow. Probably the strangest grain stalks that anybody's ever seen. And then the head of the grain grows. And then when that is full, the person who's just been sleeping and waking up and sleeping and waking up and going on with his life or her life just sees this is all grown up. And it's time for the harvest, because if it just stays in the field, it will do no good. And so he comes along with his sickle and reaps the grain. And Jesus said the kingdom of God is like that. I wonder what he meant. I wonder if the kingdom of God is like little seeds that grow in the world, maybe inside of us, that even when we're not paying attention, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. I wonder if that's what Jesus meant. I wonder what you think it means. I wonder what the kingdom of God really is. And Jesus said, the kingdom of God is like the mustard seed, which is the smallest of seeds. In fact, if I had it on my finger, you wouldn't be able to see it. And the mustard seed grows and grows. And it grows, it's really a bush, but it grows so big that it's like a tree. Did you ever see bushes that are like trees? They tend to be pretty thick, right? And they give lots of shade. I don't think we were supposed to harvest the mustard seed. And it grows so big that the birds can all find a home there. They build their nests, they find the shade. And the kingdom of God is like that tiny seed that grows. These will be birds. I wonder what Jesus meant by that. In both of the parables, he talked about growing from something small. And he didn't talk about having to really tend to it. You know, like if you have some plants, they're finicky and they need lots of careful attention. But it doesn't seem like that. Mustard, actually, people want to get rid of it. It grows like that. It grows really easily. And in the first parable, the wheat was just growing. So the kingdom of God is something that grows and spreads, maybe, that God is doing, not even us. But I wonder if that's it. I wonder if the kingdom grows with us or in us. I wonder if we grow. Maybe not tall or wide, but in ourselves, do we grow more as we think more about what that kingdom is? I wonder what it means. Parables are hard. Sometimes parables are a little bit like puzzles or boxes that open or don't open. And sometimes they open and sometimes they don't. And it sounds like from the reading today that even the people who heard Jesus tell the parables, a lot of them were confused. But the other thing about parables is sometimes when you hear them, you think it means one thing. And then the next time you hear it, it can mean something else that's different, but could be true at the same time. I wonder what you think it's about, what Jesus is saying about the kingdom of God when he talks about the grain that was planted and grew while the person just got up and slept and got up and slept, but the person harvested it. Or what Jesus meant when he talked about the kingdom of God is like a little mustard seed that grows into this great big bush that's like a tree where the birds can find shelter. I wonder if the kingdom of God gives shelter for us. I wonder what you think the parable means. And I wonder what you will build with your Lego.